positive recovery mode. That's how leaders in education describe the latest student assessment results from the Wisconsin Department of Instruction.
They show public schools in our state are continuing to recover from the learning disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. In the First Alert update, Emily Bayer breaks down the latest test results.
We can see that we continue to be in recovery mode.
Results gathered by the Wisconsin Department of Instruction show overall improvement in test scores throughout the state. For 11th grade students, English proficiency went up from 35% in the 2021 to 2022 school year to 37.7% last school year. Math proficiency saw a very slight decline during that same time frame from 27% to 26.9%. Looking at students in 3rd through 8th grade, English and math scores both improved. English went up from 37% to 39.2%. In math, in that same time period, scores rose from 39.2% to 41.1%. Education leaders say a new statute, Act 20, is helping improve literacy programs in schools. The statute allows school districts to be reimbursed up to 50% of the cost. That funding, although limited, must be used in a short period of time, goes to schools that need it most.
So we know that our districts are already making moves in that area to strengthen their systems, providing professional learning to their educators, new curriculum to their students, and we have the additional support with some of those resources that Act 20 provides.
Other areas of focus include more support for mental health programs and special education in schools. The Department of Public Instruction says they continue to make workforce requests in special hearings and will do so in the future.
I'm hoping they show up very shortly, and if not, they will show up again in 2 years when we do our next budget proposal.
Overall, education leaders say these results are promising and they're looking forward to continuous improvement. In Green Bay, Emily Bayer, Action 2 News.